Welcome back, everybody.
Hey! We have to figure out an entirely new set of topics to talk about.
Are you going to split the video, or was that for sponsorship?
No,
Just in
is...
case you want to put a commercial in here, that was the time.
This has been sponsored by BetterHelp. Have you been terrorized by
BetterHelp? Not a sponsor, just think they're cool.
But BetterHelp, if you would like to sponsor us, we care a whole lot about other people using your service. So.
No, it's because
I haven't personally ever had any counseling. I could probably use it. Moving forward.
Please use it.
But what is it? Sponsored by Colorado?
Colorado.
He spent so much time in the airport so he could de-stress.
Oh my goodness. Dude.
That's trafficking.
All I can do, I'm pretty sure, did I talk about that in the last video? I don't know. The guy I used to work with that would snuff spironolactone because it smelled like weed.
No. What?
Did I tell you guys
You
about
have
this?
not told me that story.
Oh, alright. So, I had a really crappy, well, he wasn't very good, let's say, coworker. And I work in a pharmacy, and so a medication called spironolactone, which is a mild diuretic and an anti-androgen. If you're a transgender, you know what that is. But spironolactone smells a lot like weed. And it's really pungent and gross and acidic and ugh. It makes your stomach turn if you huff it. However, we had a guy who originally lived in Oregon, and he came here. And he was just like, does anyone want to sign my petition to get weed legal? And my pharmacist had to turn around and he's like, dude, you cannot do that in a pharmacy, in a place where that is illegal. You cannot bring in your petitions to work. Please don't do that. And so he's like, fine, like, I just don't see the point of, like, we talk about drugs like they're bad, but we sell drugs. I'm like, just shut up. Stop.
He's the type of guy who used the argument, but it's natural.
It's the Cheech and Chong argument. It's so bad. He was so funny to listen to because you just kind of sat there and hung your head. But
why are you quoting Creed?
So his there we go. At least I know what it is.
At least you got. It was like, can you get a guess reference? I knew it was a
coin. You're like, it's after 1972. Hey!
Well, so I know he knows who Creed is. Will he actually get the lyrical reference?
I did, luckily enough. But no. So on his last day, because he got caught more than a couple of times, he would, like, while filling some spironolactone, he would open up the bottle, go, and then close it up, put it back on the shelf.
I do that too.
Out of school?
Yeah, but you're a teacher. What? It's expected for you to
not
be
at
smoking
school. Right after.
Sniff glue.
Right.
Sometimes before.
But
I picked a bad day to stop sniffing glue.
But on his last day, he had off to the side just a empty bottle of spironolactone with the cap off in the trash just to the side, so every time he walked by he could sniff it and put it back. And he's just like, and he was like, look, sign this petition. And we were like, hey, you shouldn't do this. This is illegal. You shouldn't be smoking weed here in the state of Idaho. It's a very bad idea to fail a drug test when you deal with drugs. It's a great way to have a lot of problems. And he's like, oh, don't touch this stuff myself. Yeah, sure.
No,
sure, you
I'm
have
not addicted.
spironolactone because you've never smoked weed. He's like, I didn't say I never smoked weed. I just say I don't. It's like,
I'm not addicted. I can stop anytime, but let me huff this real quick.
He's like, dude, you don't realize this could be made into rope. I'm like, not the part you're smoking.
Not the part that's illegal.
Like, hemp rope's fine.
I've never
They
seen
sell
hemp
the rope at
clothing.
Walmart.
I've never seen hemp clothing outlawed.
Oh, he was such a weird kid. But yeah, so now, no matter how long I wait, every time I fill a spironolactone, I can only think of him. Just like in the back, like, thanks, buddy. You do realize that I have to dispense this to other people, right? And you just put your schnoz right in it.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
This spironolactone's got an interesting texture.
I didn't realize they made them slime coated now for easier digestion.
Hey, this one came from the Kids' Choice Awards at Nickelodeon.
Harvey Weinstein's casting couch.
Go Leopold. Ty's like, I wish we could save this video. Because we're
Brendan
maybe
Fraser is not happy with you.
maybe
right now.
better help. Like it's like we've heard the call. And like, let's just watch this video to make sure they're marketable.
They're not marketable.
Oh boy!
No, but maybe we can give them a discount on our services.
These guys clearly need therapy.
They're like, please, we'll pay you for a single session.
Dude,
I
please
would
stop
take.
recording.
I would do a session if I got paid for
That's
it.
good. I probably got attention problems. I should get those fixed.
So, Kitty, where do you think your problem with authority started? Well, my dad was a psychiatrist.
Psychologist, and yes. Then again, my dad has a huge problem with authority too, so more like
It's
it runs in
genetic.
the blood. Yeah. Well, I love that. Like my mom will always say something along the lines of like, "Oh, your father has such a problem with authority," and I guess
He was in the Navy.
all of the kids have gotten that same problem. Like, mother, you have the same issue.
The best part is, at least
Compounded.
knowing the family members they do, they all have a problem with authority, but they all love being in charge.
Yeah, of course. You've never met a single person who loves to be in charge that doesn't have a problem with other people being in charge. You've got to be hypocritical that way. Oh, man. Yeah, that was... Don't take away... Oh, you got Rocket? That's nice.
What?
What?
As the ability
I don't know.
from my dude. Is
I,
Rocket.
I have no clue what that means, but okay.
Yeah, what does that
I
mean?
believe that means that you don't take recoil damage from moves that would give you recoil.
Ooh.
So, I'm trying to think of any moves that he might learn that have that. Can't think of one off the top of my head.
Self-destruct.
Doesn't
There's
tap-
no way that it...
Doesn't-
Dude, if it does,
You get 240 power move, just
Impossible.
guaranteed.
Doesn't tackle have recoil, or it's a similar one to
No.
headbutt?
No, headbutt doesn't... It's takedown. No,
Takedown.
no, not takedown.
something.
Skull bash.
There's some move.
Skull Bash, it takes 2 turns to charge up.
Fireball.
Or you can't move afterwards.
I think that you can't move afterwards, and that
Yeah.
always comes from Detective Pikachu.
What?
It's a good movie.
He's like, my Pokemon knowledge comes from Detective Pikachu.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of, okay, video game films that are good. I've got Detective Pikachu on my list.
Street Fighter.
No.
It is worth it just to watch. Oh, who did
Lara
Bison?
Croft Tomb Raider.
Yeah, M.
haven't
Bison.
seen it.
Yeah, I know.
M. Bison- M.
He
Bison,
died.
he makes
Yeah,
it
he
work.
died right before it was released, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's the, of course.
Evidently, the
Please.
most recent Mortal Kombat isn't half bad. I haven't watched it, but I've heard it's actually pretty good.
I like I like the Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Do you like the Tomb Raider with
That's what I
Angelina
said.
Jolie, or do you just like Angelina Jolie?
I actually don't really care for Angelina Jolie. I'm not a huge fan. She could cut me with those cheekbones, though. I'm not gonna lie.
The Resident Evil, at least the first 3, if you just want a good action flip, they're
Look
fun.
at Angelina Jolie.
That's just more of a
They're talking
description.
about
It's not a statement of
video
attractiveness.
games
That's
that
just
were adapted into movies. Which ones are actually good?
Pikachu.
That's what he.
Yes.
That's what
That's
he
a
said.
starting
and I
point.
said
But that's
Tomb Raider.
literally the only one that's at the. No one would debate that Detective
Cherry's good.
Pikachu's on the top of the list, though.
I would.
What's better?
Detective Pikachu's the best.
Oh, you were saying not. You were
Video
saying
game
is the top.
I don't know. Have you guys
Yeah.
ever seen the live-action Mario Luigi movie?
I
Yeah,
have
it's-
not.
Have you seen Sonic?
A monkey.
I haven't seen this on.
I hate the Sonic one. I'm sorry. Everyone kept hyping it up when it came out. They were like, "Oh, now that the CG's fixed, the story's fixed." I'm like, no.
That's not how that works.
It's just Hop. It's just Hop. It's got James Marsden in it too. The same guy who plays the straight man, like human, in the road trip comedy Hop is in just the road trip comedy Sonic
Does
movie.
Dungeons
He's
and
been
Dragons
typecast.
count?
That's rough.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Does
Watch
All
the
immediately.
watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's incredibly terrible. Not the one that has Chris Pine that's coming out, but the one from like 2004 or something like
Chris
that.
Pine.
It's a ton of fun.
Does
Also,
the Tom
Wait,
and
that
Jerry
brings
movie
us
count
back
as a
to
video
Detective
game
Pikachu.
movie
Justice
because of
Smith is in it
the
as well.
they're in that one game?
multiverses.
They're in multiverses, so is that technically a video
No,
game?
because
movie?
I don't want to describe
What other
multiverses as a video
video games?
game.
Movies are there? I feel like Resident Evil.
I said Resident Evil. The first 3 are pretty good.
Resident Evil, Mortal
Movies?
Kombat,
Games?
Street Fighter,
Movies.
all those got some.
They
we
made
also,
a Diddy Kong movie, Donkey Kong movie, animated, but it's still a movie.
I heard that actually the original Japanese Super Mario Brothers movie was quite good.
I never saw
It was
that.
an anime. I don't even think it's ever been translated.
I don't count animated films on that one because that's way easier.
Also, this isn't a movie, but I like Cuphead show.
Cuphead Show's fun.
Haven't watched
The voices still can't match.
I'm
for me.
sorry. I
For
look
Cuphead
at it
and
and I was
Mudman?
like,
No, I know what you mean. I don't think they match either.
Yeah.
I think they need to be like somehow stylized to sound like they're from the era, and they don't sound like
Yes.
I think Cuphead does.
Well,
Eloquently put.
I think I won that exchange.
Victory.
This is how Hunter finishes all her arguments.
Not all of them, just the ones that I haven't prepared for.
Which is all of them. You
Most
always get into arguments and you have no idea how to finish.
Exactly.
Oh, that's just like Malcolm.
No, Malcolm always starts a fight that he has no idea at
It's
all
not
what to
that-
do from the
I asked
first
this-
step.
I ask this every time, but is Malcolm the one that told me I was weird?
No.
No, Kimball was.
Oh.
Kimball the little
More of
goblin.
an
was.
insult from Kimball.
I told my mom how Malcolm used to be carried out in canned corn.
Where's
I just threw up in my mouth.
Okay, so our roommate, our old roommate Malcolm, used
Are you
to
sure
at
you want to go down this road?
2 o'clock.
I will say-
I'm going to keep it
on
very
contact?
brief. I'm going to
Okay.
keep it very brief.
Real quick, Malcolm though, nice guy.
Yeah,
very
wonderful
nice
dude.
guy.
Wonderful dude. We're absolutely heckling him out of
Well,
a couple of things, but love is included. But no, actually, we do straight up.
You know, Kenny's a great
Malcolm's
human
fine.
being.
Malcolm.
no one ever accused him of that before.
But the fun thing about Malcolm is that when he was having a particularly rough time, what he would do is he would pop like 4 bags of popcorn a day, including his last one was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and he would pop a bag of popcorn and then eat cold Progresso clam chowder soup out of a can, and he was in the corner, like you didn't put it in like a bowl or anything, he just would eat it out of the can after popping a bag of popcorn and just sit there and go,
Oh, gosh.
oh my gosh, it was the worst. Like it sounded like a monster was feeding on its prey in the corner. And this was when almost all the lights were off, besides like one lamp, because we had like no lighting in apartment 5.
Yeah. Or 9.
And so we were. It was
Apartment
worse than
5 was
apartment
so
5
bad.
Really?
because you know how we had. So we had no overhead lighting in
Yeah.
our living room, but we
These
had
apartments
lamps.
were built in the 70s.
I'm sure it was when
Maybe
the pioneers
80s.
came through, but one of the two.
Because I bet pioneers wouldn't have settled for that.
Hey,
Higher quality.
this belongs in a museum. But so instead of like actually putting light fixtures in, what they decided to do was put lamps to the side of the room. So they had one on each side. However, it was one of those like IKEA like strayed lamps where they've got like 3 different light fixtures.
And so
on
it
it.
only has 2. And
But-
one of them doesn't work.
The
Yep.
one that everyone's parents had in the corner growing up.
Yup. The problem is that only one light bulb worked on each side. Also, by the way, that apartment was cheap enough that they're like, by the way, if any light goes out, you have to replace it. Just buy more light bulbs. And it's like,
I don't think I will.
that's so stupid.
And that's why we had no lights.
Yeah, because, well, we had a light bulb go out in like our first month.
And we didn't go.
And you guys were too cheap to buy like the 75-cent light bulbs?
75
It's
cents.
more we were
They were like
stubborn enough where we
$5.
refused to invest
They're,
money.
okay, yeah, if you buy the LED ones, you can go to Dollar
buy
Tree and
anything
buy
else?
light bulbs.
To understand our mentality here,
The
this is
other
the
thing
same
is-
one where the basement would flood in the wintertime.
Got it.
And
so
they would
they
rip
lived
up
in
the
dark
carpet.
to make a statement.
Well, so
Like Gandhi.
Like Gandhi!
According to the contract,
Not eating food for himself to make a statement.
Yeah, and he also slept in a bed full of naked 12-year-olds to test his spiritual mettle. What
Okay,
did I do?
yeah, did you do that too? Because that's the... I feel like
I
that's
mean,
the
he
same
was a
genre.
scoutmaster.
Let's live in the dark because our basement floods, we will be living in
well,
the
so
dark.
the thing is, according to the
Well,
contract,
Let's go spunking tonight,
so
boys.
according to the contract,
Use
if the
the
light
light
bulb
bulb
burnt out while you were
It
there,
was
you had
really
to
bad
replace
in
it.
apartment 9.
But all
Yeah.
light bulbs would be replaced during breaks when no one was living there. They never did that. Like, I moved in and their light bulbs burnt out, so I'm sure not going to replace a bulb that was already burnt out.
Yeah. Basically, nobody
Yeah,
else except
so
for
you
us.
guys lived in the dark for what? 75 cents? $1 at max?
Well, when the semester restarts, we can just be like, hey, we moved in and we noticed that these lights are out and they'll
And you
replace
just-
them for free.
You just have to talk to the right manager, because then they would replace it.
Right. I think I would last maybe 3 days if a light bulb burnt out.
Yeah, but
They were never.
Okay.
They were never important light bulbs.
I lived in the basement of apartment 9, and we had those, like, strip lights,
The fluorescent,
ones?
tubes.
and it would flicker
Yep.
all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
Every
no,
time
we
it
had
was
no
on,
Sferatu
it
controlling
flickered.
our electrical system.
And
Oh, yeah,
sometimes
okay,
if
that's
somebody
nice.
walked across, like, above it,
yeah.
Yep.
it would just go out.
Yep.
And so you have to, like, get up and, like, press the sides together to get an electrical connection again.
Our place was
And it
old
would
enough
still
that
only
the
flicker.
electrical wiring
Okay, now that's
was
different.
running
Yeah, it was
outside
super
of the
bad.
walls for the most part.
And we told the managers,
Not
and they
in
were like,
apartment
okay,
nine.
well, let us know.
Apartment
and
5 it was.
if it gets really bad, and we'll replace the fixture. We
The
let you know
apartment-
because it was really bad.
The apartment's
Why
old
do you
enough
think I'm here?
Why do you think I'm talking to
where
you?
instead of having multiple outlets per room, they like one outlet per wall, maybe because back then no one had computers. Like you had an
Yeah.
outlet for a light and a phone.
I'm pretty sure they were
Yeah.
built before electricity was discovered too. Like it
They
was
still use
something
base.
like that.
They still use baseboard heaters.
And, like, ventilation.
Yeah, which is
You
why
have
they.
ventilation?
No, there wasn't any. That was the problem.
Well, which is why they had the slats in the bathroom door. That you
At the
could
bottom,
see
even though heat
into.
rises.
Yup,
And at the top.
they had some at the
So-
top.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They did.
Tape them
But
closed.
the problem is that I'd rather have them at the bottom because when you have them at the top, you can straight up look into the bathroom and see somebody fully naked on one side, just completely.
At that point, you're
naked
doing that on purpose,
while in the
though.
bathroom.
Because
Like-
they had it angled in such a way where unless you went up and looked,
Nope.
Yeah, if
You
you're
could
walking
see-
up the stairs and you glance through. Then
No, if you were tall enough, you could see through as long as you hit eye line. I know because I could see through them.
Kenny
That's
spent
good
his
to
time
know.
spying on Ty.
No, meaning if you watch
Okay.
through the, if you watch
Come
through the
on,
bottom,
man.
hey, don't take offense to it.
Like, he's in the
It's a
shower.
compliment.
His
I'm like,
windies
dude,
is unguarded.
It's the principle of the thing. Shut up.
I'm taking offense to it.
But no, that was when I freaking got out of the shower and one of our roommates was just staring at me
My
through
biggest
the
issue-
vent. I'm completely naked.
my
Just
biggest
out of-
issue-
I'm sorry, my song just ended on the line. I'm
I-
completely
No,
naked.
I said-
so I didn't hear anything
I stepped
else.
out of the shower and through the slats in our freaking door to the bathroom. One of our roommates is just standing like Bigfoot on the other side of the room, looking through the vent, looking at my completely naked person, and I'm just like,
What the heck, man?
"Pay me $5."
No,
Looker's
my
fee?
biggest
How
problem
you're
with that is
cheap?
that
$5?
bathroom-
though.
$5 is
Hey,
$5, man.
Hey,
That bathroom
but
also
at
had the
least it
washer and
wasn't
dryer.
tied
And it
because
was
we
also
shouldn't
the
be in
closet.
sex. At least it wasn't tied.
Sorry, the only thing I
He
heard
couldn't
was
be in the sex
Tyler's
trade.
sex.
What?
You earlier, you were like, I can't be a sex worker.
Yeah, I'm not cut out for it.
Well, first,
I need therapy.
go watch your
clearly.
Jedi Fallen Order video for to understand that reference.
I believe instead of insinuating that you were prostituting yourself, it was insinuated that you got pimped out. The
Well,
exact
that's
opposite.
terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, as degrading as it is if you were doing it to yourself, now it's getting done to you. Like, at the very least, it's not your fault at that point. But good gosh.
But the washer and
So
dryer
this
were
is
also in
gonna
that,
be
and the guys, because we were with a bunch of college kids who didn't care, like, oh yeah, it's 11 o'clock at night, perfect time to do laundry. Let me turn on the really loud dryer.
And
I
my
remember-
bed is right to the right
Yeah.
of the freaking
My
room.
first semester
and Ty's
there-
bed is right to the left of the freaking.
Well, it's like you
washer
walk
dryer.
straight out the door and run into my bed.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I remember
It
my
was
first-
partly in the walkway because we
You know how
didn't
many
have
people
room
ran
for
into
3
my
beds.
bed in the middle of the night? A lot.
Yeah.
I remember it was.
A lot.
I had to be up for work at like 6 in the morning, so I'm in bed at like 10:30.
How much was your rent?
$285 a month.
Yeah, it was cheap.
There was 8
Yeah,
of us.
you
That
would-
seems way
you
too
would-
much for 280. Like that seems like way too much rent for this. Like
It
how
was just low enough.
They
Well, that's
for-
the
felt like
problem
they
up
should
there. There's not
probably
enough
make a lot of
houses.
improvements.
You would put up with almost anything for $285 a month.
No,
I
I
did.
wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either.
If
I
you
paid
moved upstairs, it
$350
was-
and I had a king size bed and a double door closet in my room.
What?
You do realize that at our college, you cannot have a lock
Single
on
men
your
or
private
second
room.
class
as a kid.
citizens.
Okay, I
You're
didn't
not allowed
have a
to
lock.
have that.
I didn't have a lock either.
Ridiculous.
Also,
But still had a king size bed
I
and
would-
I shared a room.
I wasn't allowed to have a
We
king
both
size
had
bed,
king
but I
size
did get a
beds.
private bedroom for about $300 a month, just over. So
Yeah. I don't think we even.
honestly, once you got away from the downstairs, upstairs was a lot better. Just downstairs was trash.
Well,
Downstairs was, there was no there was
no
no closet.
ventilation. There was no ventilation, no closet, no nothing.
They're like, oh yeah, your closet's in the bathroom,
Also,
which has no ventilation.
They also had
Yeah.
so
My
they,
suit is ruined.
so they were supposed to have a private room downstairs. However, the door broke. I believe on one, door frame broke on one of them or something like
so
that.
it's fire code. The room was not big enough to technically be its own
Yeah,
room.
they tried to sell like a small closet
Like
for a
outside
room,
the back.
and so yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
get to that. But
I'll just put a beep over it or something.
Yeah. that works. But so they couldn't sell it as a private room, so they got rid of the door, which I feel just is a little bit vindictive. So they
And put a curtain across.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no,
no.
you had to pay
Someone
for a curtain
supplied
rod
the
and a
curtain.
curtain to put across.
Because it was the cheapest possible, so someone supplied that
They also didn't tell you
years
that.
ago.
When you like set up for the room and stuff, they didn't tell you that. Hey, by the way, if you're paying for a shared, which is cheaper, you get the option to go in there if you're first. No, they didn't even tell you that. So JD and I set up in the downstairs because JD was like, "It's going to get hot." We came in for the fall semester, by the way. We live in Idaho. It is not going to get hot. But
I
he's
think
like,
it's really cold.
But he's
JD
like-
also refused to turn the heater on.
"Yep." He's like, "Look, when it gets
Which I was
hot, bro,
fine with.
we're going to be
When I
happy
was
to be
living down
downstairs in the basement instead."
There was
And
a
his
15
bedroom got
degree drop
flooded
from my
for
curtains
that.
in your guys' room. Like, I would step out and be cold.
Yep.
Now you're awake.
I didn't have that issue. I didn't sleep
But
past
also-
my classes.
I did, probably because getting out of bed was an awful
Did that
thing
too.
to happen.
What a terrible situation to let myself in.
Why would I want to get out of bed for 7:45 classes?
Well.
I would rather fail, and I did.
If it isn't the
Just
consequences
kidding.
of my own actions. As I wake up every morning for
You
class.
say that, and I have a 7:45 class this whole semester, Monday and Wednesday.
Oh, you
My
absolute
earliest
chump.
class is 9 on one day.
Me too. Oh, it's
No,
four
I
days a
have
week.
to be at
Bless you.
Bless you.
my class at 8 every day.
You sneeze
Well,
like a
you're the
kitten.
teacher.
It's also
It's
not
adorable.
a 30-minute drive.
Adorable.
True, but I am in the class for 6 hours. So.
Yeah.
Because you're the teacher.
To be fair, when I was in college, every single Japanese class was at 8 in the morning.
Well, that sounds
So you had to
awful.
sprint up there, and of course, the stupid national anthem would start playing on campus, and so everyone would stop what they were doing. So everyone would stop what they were doing.
To the gulag!
Thank you.
So that they
Look at
could
one
put their
person.
hand on their heart, and I'm standing there like, it is the middle of winter, I'm cold, and
You
I
played
need to
the
be in
national
class
anthem
in
at your
2 minutes.
college?
Every
People would
Yeah,
freeze in the
every
walkway.
day.
I wish we
morning.
did that.
Everyone froze.
Why?
I kid you not.
You can
and
keep
if you
sprinting.
were the
That is
person
the most
who
American thing
kept
to do. Keep
moving,
sprinting.
oh, they were so mad. Like everyone would just look at you like clearly you had just stomped on like the entire nation's history. If you were like, I'm gonna be late to class and it's cold out, I'm gonna keep walking.
All the sins since 1776 are now on your head.
Literally.
I'm good.
See?
I'm clear.
I
They
even
don't
took my
play the
hat
national
off.
anthem at our college.
I wish they did, actually. That'd be kind of cool.
They do
Want everyone
like
to glare
a
at
little
you when you
jingle
wiggle a little bit?
every hour.
No.
There's like a little jingle.
Is there?
Yeah,
With
so
the bells.
we've
They do it.
basically the sounds of an old grandfather clock. The ba 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 ba.
Bum,
Ba, ba, ba. Everybody take a different key.
Alright, I call your car
You're
key.
Oh man.
I said car, not van.
I was waiting for someone to do the bum 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 bum.
Be surprised if they
Never
haven't played.
Superman.
Golly.
Oh man, this is a train wreck.
Picnicker.
We just destroyed a
Been
picnic.
destroyed.
Ooh, boy, the
Shocked. Because
Remind me never,
Eligma destroyed her.
remind me never to say picnicker as picnicker.
Picnicker.
Sounds pretty
Picnic.
bad. Yeah.
Hey, boo boo.
I was going for
Picnic
a
basket.
Yogi Bear thing, but instead I'm going to be canceled for racial insensitivity.
That's okay.
Oh,
Roma Lady Elizabeth will get destroyed as well.
Oh well.
By Bedank.
You doing alright over there?
Bedank.
Oh boy. Ugh.
Did I
How far did we get in this episode? I feel like
We have like
We're
5
pretty
more
close,
minutes because he's
yeah.
heading back to the house to rest.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I feel like you were like by the way I gotta get back. You wanted the exact opposite direction.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I was like, there's one more person to fight on this route. I might as well finish this.
Something like that.
We just got to
Oh
make sure
my
we get
gosh,
you
that
back to
flapping
the-
is getting cut so bad. Look at that. Ooh.
That is really bad. No wonder no one watches.
Also, after after this, I have to show you some of the best / worst CGI in the new Pinocchio. Because
I
good
see.
golly, it's so
Stop
funny.
giving them views.
You do realize that it doesn't get them any more money, and the views are at best nominal.
It's the principle of the thing.
But there is no
Like,
principle.
Kenny, this is the equivalent of you not buying a light bulb. So,
It was
Kenny's
the
the type of
principle.
guy that says we need to stop buying things from China as he goes and buys everything from China.
I've never told anybody to stop buying things from China, mostly because everything that I buy is from China because I'm poor. So I have to buy stuff that is
I buy
teaching
things
us.
exclusively from China. No, I'm just kidding.
On principle.